Awesome. All right. Before we talk football for this week, I just wanted to make mention of Damar Hamlin, and that our thoughts and our prayers are with him and his family. I was watching the game Monday night when the hit took place, and just kind of went to bed with a heavy heart. And when I woke up in the morning, the first thing I said to my wife was, can you Google what the latest is, and just kind of trying to follow the updates. And grateful for the medical experts who were able to stabilize the situation. And you think of playing quarterback in professional football as a high pressure job, but I thought of the medical professionals who are addressing the situation on the field on Monday night. And that's a whole nother definition of it. So just continue to pray for his full healing and recovery, and then try to keep moving forward. So got the Bears this week, on the road. We haven't won a division road game yet this year, so we'd love to make it happen this week. And getting a win would, like anytime you lose, get you back on the right track. And so that's where our mindset is. And Soldier Field's always been a tough place to play, and we'll have to come with our best possible plan and ready to play at a high level to have a chance to win it. But take any questions you have.
Kevin, we'll start with you and then go to Alec.
Yeah, Kirk, I'm just wondering, you see so many injuries in pro football and football at every level, and some of them are very, very serious, but this one was on a little bit of a different level. And I'm just wondering how it just sort of affected you personally. I know the risks of playing the game, but how does it feel to see that happening, and how does it impact your mindset because you have a game to play, in 3 days?
Yeah, it is a reminder of the risks that we take on. I think we're all aware of them. They're not quite as front and center as they aren't usually as quite as front and center as they are right now. But that risk is always there. And as a football player, you understand that going back, for your entire years of playing. I remember Ryan Shazier's injury, I believe, was also a Monday night game in that same stadium a few years ago. I remember watching that game live as well. Those are typically the serious injuries you tend to see are, spinal column related. And so for this one to be heart related was, a little more unique. But when you talk to medical people, they explain, the unique possibility. And, there's a lot of risk you take on, as I said earlier.
Yeah, hey, Kirk. Just wanted to ask, what has the atmosphere been like in the building, just in the aftermath of that? And then just with teammates, what have conversations been like? How much has that been a discussion?
Yeah, it's been the first thing addressed in each meeting that we've had today, whether it was a position meeting, a team meeting, an offense meeting. I think that was important. So it's very much on the forefront of people's minds, and it's something that we're certainly aware of as we move forward here.
We'll go to Ben, followed by Chris.
Yeah, Kirk, I'm sure you go out on the field and you think, I can't play tentatively. I'm sure there's greater risk of injury sometimes if you're doing things tentatively, but at the same time, is it hard to block that out of your mind and go play the same way that you always have, knowing that that's the last thing you saw in a game on Monday night?
I do think that, what happened Monday night, it's hard to just ignore or shake off. I also think that for professionals, we have a job to do. And once you go play, you have to go play. I do think that every game you're aware of the risks and you still have to go play. And so you really also try to trust your training, your instincts, and rely on those. And also, a lot of prayer, pray for protection. And, I think just about every guy in the league does. And, I think so many of us are grateful, knowing how physical the game can be, that all the hits we've taken over decades that, it hasn't been more common. I think we're grateful for that. And, the uniqueness of it, I think, was what jumped out to me was you're used to seeing a certain type of injury, spinal column. I think the type this time was just unique, not realizing how that's possible.
Yes, Kirk. I did have a football question, if we could transition there. Your thoughts just on the offensive line with the injuries. I mean, Brian O'Neill ruled out now for the season, and then also your thoughts kind of on the center situation. You're working obviously this week with Chris Reed. You guys picked up another center as well.
Yeah. Very difficult to lose Brian, to lose Austin. Injuries in general are just always difficult to take, but grateful for Oli Udo's abilities and what he's shown for 4 years now in this league, and his ability to step in at right tackle. And Chris Reed as well at center is a guy who's played a lot of football in this league and is a total pro. So when you have players like that who are able to step in and play, it helps a great deal. And the game planning process, in the comfort level from a quarterback's perspective, and just getting off the practice field now, felt that Chris was really dialed in and just did a great job handling all the moving parts of playing the center position. So, in a good place with the depth that they provide.
Dave, go ahead.
Hey, Kirk, I'm just wondering about Sunday in the game, and just how important is it to get like a kind of a good, clean, crisp performance? Obviously, even with the seeding and playoff stuff unlikely to change.
Yes, I think that to get that bad taste out of our mouth is something that would be really good to do. No one's just going to let that happen. We've got to go earn it and play well enough to do that. But you put a high standard of expectation on yourself and on your team every week you go out there, and you understand that you're going to have plays or moments that aren't up to that standard, but you certainly know that when those moments happen, you need to bounce back. And so that's what the focus on Sunday will be about.
Ben, and then we'll end with Craig.
Yeah, Kirk, it looked like with some of the cadence issues you guys had on Sunday, how much of that can get fixed in a week, or how much time do you spend, I guess, with Chris to make sure you guys are on the same page there to have that stuff kind of not happen again?
Yeah, great question. I think a week is more than enough time to get that addressed. It was a deal where, Garrett and Austin had gotten most of the center work all season long. So then when Chris got thrown in there, the time on task just hadn't been where you would want it to be at Lambeau Field in the noise with so many different cadences. And, there's a complexity there to our snap counts and really to our offense as a whole. And that in that complexity is a lot of good strategy, but it can be a lot. So today, Chris handled it really, really well. And I didn't expect anything different just because of how long he's been around this game and the pro that he is. But it was a big ask to say to him, hey, just jump in and handle everything like you've been doing it for weeks. That was a tough ask for him on Sunday, but now that he'll have more time, it makes a big difference.
Hey, Kirk, I know that Detroit and Green Bay are playing a little bit better at the end of the season than maybe when you saw them at the first of the season, but I'm just curious as to your thoughts on what the biggest challenges to going back through the division schedule have been, because, different results. I know road environments and stuff like that, but what's been the biggest challenge going back through now that teams know this offense and you guys in it a little bit better?
Yeah, I think every year, and we'll probably face it too in the playoffs, playing a team for a second or third time, you face that divisional opponent that you've seen before. It's a part of playing in this league, and I don't think it's too much of an issue where you say, oh, we played them before, so it feels totally different than it would be a team that we're playing for the first time. I think because many of these teams we play every year anyways, so you're seeing them somewhat recently regardless. But Our game against Detroit at home was very, very close. Our game against Chicago at home was very, very close. So you expect nothing different when you go to play them at their place. And you understand the challenge that it is anytime you go out there. So, we expect Sunday to be a good battle.